Hello, lovers. Hello, dreamers. Welcome to the Drama Club. On this week's episode, we chat about the shows we're watching, Jodie Turner and Joshua Jackson, Trump, and then May gets into the story of Larry Flynt and Hustler magazine. Stay tuned.
What up, fam? It's good, y'all. Feels good, right? Yeah, I know it, dude. And without further ado, we broadcasting live from CA to
I didn't know you were dating fucking E.E. Cummings. Fucking Pablo Neruda. Oh my god, man. Am I drunk? You'd be all right.
I think Tiff is one of our most quotable friends.
Mm-hmm. For sure. She got the fire word language, wordplay.
Dude, your skin looks really nice.
Oh, thank you.
You're glowing.
Oh, no makeup. Look, I made a frozen marg.
How fancy are you?
And I used the Honor tequila.
Hey, shout out to our homie Jose Jazz.
It's fucking hot.
Yeah, I'm loving it though.
Yeah, it's something better than the dreary rain.
Yeah, although I love the rain and I love like being under the covers when it's raining and stuff. That's my whole ass vibe. But I don't know. I feel like we needed
so
a
many
change.
days in a row, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's the thing. Like it's so like it was like a whole ass week, and it was like, holy shit.
Yeah. And it's like the end of the season too, so it's almost like, why are we still doing this?
Mm-hmm.
But now look at this week. Shit is like, it's like an early summer.
Yeah, it's wild. I'm about to get a kiddie pool, kick it in my backyard with my dog.
Hell yeah. You got to get a grill, dude.
Mm-hmm. Not like you could come over, but
I can't come over, bitch.
no, not right now. Oh my god, did you see this motherfucker say that people should inject themselves with disinfectant?
Oh my god, it's beyond parody.
I thought it was a joke.
It's
like
ridiculous.
My brother sent it to me and I was like, what? How stupid.
Yeah.
And then I clicked it and I was like, what?
Yeah. He's like, it does a good job of cleaning the lungs. And I was like,
and he's looking at that doctor and she's like, don't wrap me into this shit.
Dr. Bricks? Oh god.
Yeah.
I'm still like, she's getting on my last nerves though, because she should, when something like that happens, I feel like she needs to.
Yeah, they're very coward-like.
Yeah. Next time I'm not saying interrupt. I mean, yeah, sure, interrupt him. But like next time when she goes up to speak after, be like, oh, by the way, don't inject yourself
Yeah. with disinfectant.
That's completely wrong.
Because someone's going to do it.
Someone's going to do it.
Yeah. He just killed somebody.
Yeah. Again.
And he's out there.
Yeah.
Looking like a turkey.
I was mad at the way this man was wearing his mask the other day. And then I just realized, oh, he just doesn't have a chin. Like like I was like, why are you wearing the mask like this? Like fucking Bane. And then I realized he didn't have a chin. I was like, might be.
That's rude. He doesn't have a chin.
Yeah.
Damn. How do you fold laundry if you
Get that implant, my guy. It could change your whole ass life.
Yeah.
Chin implants, I think, they're underrated.
Yeah, I've always wanted one.
Really?
Yeah, I think they like make it like a huge difference.
Yeah, it's true. Totally. It does like so much for just like the structure of your face. Like it elongates, makes you look a little bit more snatched.
Mm-hmm. Nothing like looking snatched.
I listened to that song, that Whitney Houston song. It's not right, but it's okay.
Oh, that's a bop.
That's a fucking bop. And it has
the video's a bop too.
It is. And it has one of my most favorite things is when she says like, she's like, I heard the phone ring. You said it was one of your friends down off at the 4th Street. And then she says, but why did 213 show up on your caller ID.
Yeah, she fucking knows. She knows what's up. Don't be trying to play Whitney. What's up, everyone? Welcome to Quarantings with Steph and May.
Quarantings? Is that what you said?
Quarantings.
Oh, I like quarantings, though.
Quarantings. All right, we can call it that.
Yeah, because, you know, everything be irie.
Everything gonna be irie.
What do we got this week?
Vin Scully's in the hospital.
Oh God, don't say that to me. I don't want it to be
Vin
real.
Scully, former what is he called? Host? No. Announcer of the Dodgers.
Yeah.
The Los Angeles Dodgers. Who retired maybe like 3 years ago now. Or 2 years ago.
Actually pushing a little bit longer. I caught a glimpse of it the other day. I was like, damn, it's been that long.
It's been a while.
It's been a while, yeah. But
he fell. He's hospitalized. We wish him the best. He's a fucking LA legend and we love him.
LA legend, totally like someone whose voice I can remember from when I was a small child.
Yeah.
You know who else was like that? Chick Hearn. The Jello's cold. As it's jiggling. The refrigerator's closed. I don't remember it, but I used to know it when I was a kid.
Yeah.
the ice.
You know what
cold,
I like about going to Dodger games too is like the old school fans will bring a handheld radio to listen to Vin.
Yeah,
that's dope.
That's badass. My grandpa does that when he goes to the football games because he goes like every week.
Mm-hmm.
And so my dad, whenever it's like his birthday or something, like he'll send him like a nicer radio. It's like one of those that you crank, you know?
Yeah.
Like you don't have to like charge it and shit.
That's dope. So I watched season 1 of Vida.
Oh, you did? Okay, so
I don't know. I don't like, and I talked to May about this on the side, but I really don't like when characters use Spanglish.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that seems very unnatural to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I don't know any bilingual person that actually talks like that.
It's like I'll use Spanglish on the rare occasion where I cannot remember the word, like
in one or the other language.
Yeah,
but it's not like de repente you're gonna start talking like this, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that makes no fucking sense to me. Like people don't talk like that, and I don't know why they write characters like that. And every time it happens, it makes me cringe. So that bothered me.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's a drama. So, I don't know. I expect a lot from a drama, I think.
Yes, but I would, with the caveat that this is on Stars.
Right.
It's not like on HBO or even Showtime.
Right, exactly. So, like, when I think of drama, I think the last drama I watched was fucking Succession. So, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not getting Succession level mind games and fucking Vida.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's all right. I think maybe I would watch the next season if it was somewhere for free streaming, but I can't find it.
Okay.
So, I mean, tell me, does it get better in season 2? Do people still randomly go back and forth entre español y inglés por no pinche razón? And then, like, it's always like they fucking enunciate the Spanish like super paisa when they go back and forth. And I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? Nobody fucking talks like that.
So tell me more about this Netflix show that you're watching. Is it 100% hot or something?
Oh, Too Hot to Handle.
Too Hot to Handle. Okay.
So at first I was like, this is going to be like Love is Blind, something dumb, whatever. So the basic premise is that these quote hot people are put on this little resort, very Love Island vibes.
I'm receiving a message. Hold on. This is very important. Are they really hot?
There's a few
I'm out.
Hot people. It's just that like the typical white boy hot prototype is like always like the main character of like The Bachelor, right?
Yeah.
Like that kind of look for white boy is considered hot by most people, like and I don't consider that hot. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that's probably what Kavanaugh looked like back in his fucking college days.
I want to say like, no, that's not my type. But if you're a listener, you're a frat boy, white boy, and you're single, holla at your girl.
505-539-0556. If I read the message, it'll be private. Attorney-client privilege. I won't say shit. You can holler at me. I'm just in it for the entertainment. Anyways, So like I don't like that look of white boy, and obviously they got like 3 white boys that look like that, and then there's 2 hot black guys, and then there's
also Mark Paul Gosselaar. If you're listening to this, this never applies to you, baby.
Oh no, come on,
Zach Morris, baby, this never applies to you.
Zach Morris was the first love of my life. If he told me that he liked me, I would divorce Howell and get married at the max, because that's how deep this fucking crush runs. Me and Zach Morris for life. Yeah. Yeah, so that I don't know. The girls are pretty. Okay. Everybody has a great body.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So like
like Love Island.
Yeah, exactly like Love Island vibes. So the thing is, they're not allowed to engage in any sexual activity whatsoever. No kissing, no fucking, no masturbating, nothing. And whoever makes it to the end wins $100,000. And every time someone breaks the rule, which I hadn't thought about this when I started watching, but I was like, oh yeah, obviously people are gonna break the rules. The pot goes down. So then other people get pissed at you.
Yeah.
For making the pot go down. People try to keep it a secret. There's a fucking robot that lives with them.
What the fuck? A robot?
Who spies on them.
That's like some 80s sitcom shit.
Yeah. Anyways, it's pretty. It's about the same level of entertaining as Love Island.
Okay.
So if you're bored and you want to throw something on in the background,
and also, what a fucking metaphor for what's going on right now. Like, everybody, we need you to exhibit some restraint. And every time you don't, you're making it worse for everyone.
Damn, mate. Will you write an op-ed in The Cut about Too Hot to Handle and how it's a direct parallel to the COVID-19 pandemic in the U.S.? That's amazing.
It's already written and submitted, baby.
Bookmark that shit and read it later.
I watched something that was like really near and dear to my heart.
Great. I said I watched fucking Vida and Too Hot to Handle. May's gonna fucking be like, I watched Faulkner and his.
No, you know what I'm. No, you don't know what I'm about to say, but when I say it, you'll appreciate it. Mm-hmm. It's that Tickled documentary, Tickled.
Yeah.
This was like one of my favorite documentaries from a couple years ago. I rewatched it yesterday. That shit goes.
It's so bizarre, right? Like the hole that he falls into.
Yeah, you can't imagine
how deep that goes.
Right,
and that one. Remember, he confronts the guy outside of Starbucks. Yeah, that's a great documentary.
Everybody watch Tickled. It's about the world of competitive. It's about the dark side of the world of competitive endurance tickling.
Yeah, that's so random, but it's a really good documentary.
Yeah.
I started watching Everybody Knows last night because I wanted to watch A Separation and I couldn't find it streaming anywhere.
No? Really? I feel like I just, not even at the library.
Bitch, I didn't go to the library.
You should download the library app. It's so fucking good. They have so many good movies.
Really?
Yeah, it's so fucking great. Canopy. That's what it's called.
All right, I'll do it. I'll give it. Fuck, you don't gotta tell me. Canopy. Yeah, I was like, man, I haven't seen that movie in a long time. I'll watch that. Yeah. And then I couldn't find it. And then I was like, I'll watch Everybody Knows. I love Penelope.
Yeah. I want to see, there's this one that I keep putting off. It's called like Mama or something. I don't know. I always see it like come up in my Netflix, but I've never clicked on it.
Me too, with Penelope, right?
Yeah. I never clicked on it, but like I was like, oh, I've never heard of this movie. I'm going to watch it. You know which one fun fact, Pedro Almodovar is my favorite director. And so, of course, like I've seen all of his movies. But I was just thinking, I remember Broken Embraces.
So said that. That's so funny that you said that because I was about to bring up a Pedro movie. Go ahead.
Well, Broken Embraces is one that I feel like I, obviously watched when it came out, but I don't remember watching it that many times. So I don't remember the details of it. And I was like, I need to rewatch that fucking movie.
Well, you do. Okay, so this is really weird because I was about to tell you last Saturday, we were talking about Pedro, me and Joel. We're on a first name basis. Pedro, and The Skin I Live In.
Yeah.
And
that's a fucking fantastic movie.
That's a fucking bop. I watched that movie with you at your
at my cottage
house. Yeah. I always think about that.
Yeah.
Because you didn't have air conditioning. It was hot in there.
Yeah. Oh, God, I love that place.
Yeah, that place was dope. Anyways, we were talking about that movie, and then we just started talking about Pedro, and I asked Joel if he had ever seen All About My Mother, and he hadn't. So we rented it and watched it.
Movie.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we rented it and watched it, and he was like, dude, this is so good. And he told me he's never seen Broken Embraces, so we're going to watch that
Christ.
probably tomorrow.
We should do a Netflix party thing.
That'd be sick. Is it on Netflix?
I don't know. But
Okay.
I think, but on that website on 27, I think it's called, you could do like from anywhere.
Ooh, we should totally do that.
So I've been thinking a lot about All About My Mother also because it's my favorite movie
It's so good.
in conjunction with All About Eve. And I was trying to think of another example of a piece of art that I like or I love because it elevates another piece of art that I love. And I was like, that is so fucking strange.
Yeah, that's a cool, like, bizarre thing.
Yeah, All About Eve is so much better because of All About My Mother. And vice versa. And like, I don't know. It's my favorite. I think of those as my two favorite movies, but I think of them as one movie, sort of. Even though they have very little to do with each other. I don't know.
How high were you?
So I watched Tickled, then I started thinking about this shit.
Yeah, that's what's up. What else happened?
Any celebrity news?
Oh, that's right. That's what we talk about. Whoops. No. Oh, I wrote down Kim Jong-un.
Oh.
Reports say North Korean leader Kim Jong-un may be dead.
Get well soon, baby. Because in this time, we need capable leaders that don't tell people to inject Clorox.
Man, then I started thinking, remember Kim Jong-un died on Toomgam's birthday?
What?
It's like our only Korean friend.
What? He died on Toomgam's birthday?
Yes.
Oh, Toomgam, you a legend for that one. Thank you. Aside from being cute as fuck,
Yeah.
you also killed
down
Kim Jong-un.
That shit's amazing.
Oh, God. You still haven't watched this season of Real Housewives, huh?
No, I haven't. I haven't started it.
I want to talk to you about it so fucking
I'm
bad.
sorry.
Because it seems
I still
like...
think the best show on TV is 90 Day Fiance.
Oh, fucking yeah. It's the best. It's the best show on TV. Period.
They need to win a Pulitzer.
And they could even have like a more serious tone 90 Day Fiance that like tells you about how things are affected by the current administration and how they can't like get visas. They could throw that shit on A&E or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
I'll watch that shit too.
Oh my God. When they do the interviews, they got a black screen behind
Yes.
them.
Like intervention, like fucking hoarders. Watch the shit out of that. My mom was just telling me, she was like, have you seen, because I guess there's like a 90 Day Fiance quarantine edition, and
No.
I haven't seen that yet, but
Me neither.
she told me there was one part that was really sad. If you guys are fans of the show, David and Annie were a couple that I kind of really didn't fuck with when they were on the show.
Me either, but they're pillow talk, right?
Yeah, they're so
She's
sweet.
so cute.
And she's hilarious. They're so cute. Anyway, he's like a million years older than her. She's Thai. At first, I thought he was like a sex tourist, but no, they really love each other, and they're
and
super
she's
compatible.
dope. I love her too. Shit.
I love her. Anyway, my mom told me that they were saying on the show 90 Day Fiance Quarantine Edition that she's been getting death threats because she's Asian.
What?
People are so fucking ignorant. I hate it.
That's so disgusting.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with y'all?
Educate yourselves.
Yeah. Do something. And shut the fuck up while you're at it. You know, like like how much effort is that? Like to actually do that to somebody? Why?
Right. Because that I always think about that. Like, I'm sure that there are people that have hate in their heart, but like to go beyond just feeling it to acting on it, even in the quote unquote minuscule way of sending someone a threat.
Yeah, you have to type it out.
Yeah.
Go
You're
fucking ridiculous. Yeah.
Go have a beer. Like,
yeah.
Go, like,
hug a loved one.
Yeah. Fucking chill. There was an earthquake this week.
Oh, damn. That's news. Breaking news.
It was great because it happened at exactly midnight on 4/22, which is my mom's birthday, and I was like, oh.
Oh, Earth Day. Shut up, man. You're so ridiculous.
I made chili this week also.
Ooh, you did? Damn, that's nice.
Well, I have this really fantastic recipe that I've spent the basis of it is already fucking great, but I've spent like years kind of perfecting it. And the reason why I like it is because you have to put coffee and beer in it. And
Okay.
so it's almost like doing one of those challenges where it's like you gotta smoke a blunt, then you gotta like snort salt and take a shot of tequila.
Oh, right.
I gotta like drink half a cup of coffee, then I gotta put 2 big pours of a beer and then chug the beer.
God damn! By the time the chili's in, you're fucked up.
That's exactly.
Every time I make chili, I use Guy Fieri's recipe, and that shit slaps. I'll tell you.
I know it's fucking good, but it's busy. That one, I think.
There's a lot of different shit in it, yeah. And a lot of different types of meat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's bomb. And also, I think Guy Fieri is my celebrity crush.
I feel you.
He's nice as fuck.
He's
Every
so
time
nice.
I see some news about him, it's just like the nicest shit. Like he makes fun of himself.
Yeah.
I'm down for this guy.
Also for this guy. Also, shout out to Man vs. Food Adam Rickman, who Reddit says has a big dick.
Yeah, remember you wanted to DM that fool? You started following him on our Instagram. This is why we don't get new followers, because look at the people you're out here following.
My thirst follow for Man vs. Food.
And shout out to Man vs. Wild, just cause that was a great show.
I think it's still on, and now he does it with celebrities.
Oh, that's cute.
So it's like he'll take Zac Efron to eat some bull's testicles.
Damn, you're drinking wine? You're fancy.
I was going to make a cocktail, but then I remembered that I opened this yesterday and it's getting warm, so I don't want it to
Yeah, you got to drink it. That guy, Josh Jackson from Dawson's Creek, he had a baby with his model.
Joshua Jackson is
wife.
So cute. I love him.
And his wife is bomb as fuck, Jodie Turner.
Yeah, she's like super bomb. Her body's amazing.
Yeah. So that was cute. I was like, oh, that's some good ass news.
For fans of The Affair, which is not a good show, but if you watched all of it, which I enjoyed most of the run of The Affair. But anyway, he's on that and he's like so cute. We're just wearing like nice little plaid shirts tucked into his very nice jeans with like a thick brown belt. That's the look right there.
Mm-hmm.
Call me Joshua Jackson.
No, man, he just had a baby.
Oh yeah, that's true. Never mind. Zach Morris, call me.
There you go. That's all I got. I don't think there's much going on other than this. Look at this idiot Trump. I was being sarcastic.
I saw that. No, you
Go
weren't, motherfucker.
fuck yourself, bro.
And if you were, that's fucking horrendous that you think that you can fucking joke during a pandemic when 50,000 people today, 50,000 Americans died in total so far in this crisis, and you think you can fucking joke around and be sarcastic. Fuck you. Either way, you're either an idiot or you're an asshole. So
yep, you're either with us or against us, bro.
Yep. Remember when I talked to you about how I was scared about the opioid epidemic?
That was another moment, and I was like, damn, May's smoking a lot. Just thinking about deep shit.
This morning, or it might have been yesterday, the LA Times published an article talking exactly about that.
Mm-hmm.
How there's going to be an increase in deaths, and also Wuhan province, where most likely COVID-19 started, is one of the epicenters of the world where they make the raw materials to make fentanyl.
So I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Fentanyl is like what they prescribe for someone coming off heroin? Or
no,
it's not?
No, you're thinking of methadone.
Okay. So fentanyl is the same kind of drug as heroin?
Yes, but it's super, super, super. It's like 1,000 times heroin. It's
what?
Like it's like for the worst. It's for the person that's in the worst possible pain that you cannot control with morphine. You can't control with Vicodin, any other opioid. Your last resort is fentanyl, and it's prescribed very, very tightly. Like they don't take that lightly for you to like get a prescription for fentanyl.
That's really scary. That's fucking crazy, me.
Yeah.
How do you? I don't know. I feel bad for these people. Like that guy that died. That's why we talked about it.
Yeah.
What was his name?
Teddy bear?
Yeah,
Gummy
Teddy
bear.
Gummy bear. He was like a celebutant.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the Paris Hilton days. His brother too. They're like in oil heirs or some shit like that, right?
And they're oily and they're greasy.
Yeah, and they look greasy. Anyways,
we talked about his brother Brandon when we did the episode on Lindsay Lohan's The Fire Crotch.
Right, Brandon Davis's brother. He died a few months ago, or maybe like a month ago, and I think me and May talked about it. But it came out that the
toxicology.
There you go. It was actually a fentanyl overdose.
Yeah. My God, imagine your addiction is so bad to where nothing does it for you anymore, and now you've got to do fentanyl.
It's fucked up, May. Don't ever want to do no drugs except for weed. And a little bit of Molly. And maybe a little bit of coke sometimes.
I just want to do the fun drugs. Remember that show or that movie, Boys and Girls Guide to Getting Down, when they say like
Shout out to Meghan Markle.
These are the fun drugs and these are the bad drugs. I just want to do the fun drugs.
Yeah, dude, they kind of like came and went, huh? Harry and Meghan, they were like, we're out. Yeah, now they're in LA. They were in Canada for a little bit. Now they're in LA.
I saw them handing out food or something. I was like, okay. This is totally putting a damper on their plans. They want it to be like
out and about. Yeah. Fucking socializing.
Yeah, you could have stayed a few more months in royalty for this shit. I mean,
seriously, I would have loved to have a fucking butler right about now. In a fucking mansion.
Okay, Parasite.
In the countryside. Parasite. That's your go-to? I was just thinking of I screenshotted this other fucking Modern Family thing the other day, which I never watched that show. You guys one time put it on when we were all together because you guys watched it.
It was good in the early, but then it got like real corny.
And I saw this meme, so I'll just read it to you.
Okay.
He says, "You took a 3-hour nap yesterday?" And the kid says, "Yeah, I was tired from the marathon." And he says, "The Downton Abbey marathon?" And he says, "That family's exhausting."
That's so funny.
Hell yeah.
Oh, I want to watch the Downton Abbey movie. I think it's out now.
We should do that.
You know what I was thinking that would be fun for us to do a Netflix party thing?
Like all of us?
Yes, but all of us, but specifically you and me, Daria. We should watch like a little bit of Daria.
May, we should. How could we record it and like then post it for people who like us?
Oh, I guess we could do one of those Instagram live things.
Oh yeah, but both of us?
Yeah, like how they do the beat battles and stuff.
Oh, okay, cool.
They can live together and work together and build America together because they're free. Free to vote. To say what they please.
All right, what's up, everyone? My name is Stephanie.
Hey, guys, my name is May.
This is the Drama Club, a.k.a. El Club de Drama. We talk about celebrities, scandals, gossip, biographies, music, movies.
And more.
And more, yeah. Welcome.
Ooh, I wanted to give a shout out before I forget. A super shout out.
Super duper shout out.
We got, in case you can't tell, we have been drinking today.
Yeah.
We got a really nice email today.
It's like the nicest email I've ever got in my life from Norca.
Yeah, from Norca. She said, first of all, she said that she recommended and she gave me like a little recipe of what she was planning to do for an arroz con leche icing for the cinnamon roll.
Which in a second, give us an update on how that turned out.
Yeah, for sure. And at the end, she put, "Thanks for all that you both do. I'm working from home processing EEG collections, and you all help me survive it. It is good to see two Latina women being gutsy, smart, fabulous, and funny as hell. Although I'm a million years older than both of you, you all are my role models." Signed, Norca.
That's so sweet.
It's so sweet. I love her.
We also got a new review on I'm faded.
Apple.
Sorry. Apple. Yeah, sorry, on iTunes.
What does it say?
From N.E. Martinez says, "I just want to say thanks to you chicas. Y'all make me laugh and help me through my workday. Keep up the laughs and great job hearing y'all from New Mexico."
Hey,
That's dope.
yeah, that's awesome. I want to go to New Mexico. I want to go to the Georgia
museum?
O'Keeffe Museum.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Course.
Of course. Yeah, me too. Shout out to New Mexico. That shit's dope.
Yeah, so shout out to y'all. Oh, and thank you. Somebody gave us someone linked us up with another podcast, right?
Oh yeah, Prairie, our homegirl Prairie, whose name we just learned on Instagram. She took what we said to heart last week, and she hooked us up with some friends of podcasts that she likes. Danny Pellegrino, and also
I like Danny Pellegrino. He's funny on Twitter.
Everything Iconic. Sorry, that's the name of his podcast. And then Bitch Sesh and Cardition It.
Oh, really?
Anyway, so thank you for that.
Yeah, hell yeah. And where the rest of y'all at? Okay, let me eat one last taki and then I'm going to start.
We should write Vida.
Hey.
That shit would be funny.
Is it a drama?
Whoops. I kind of want to finish watching Everybody Knows. I like Javier. He's a problematic fave. I don't know why I'm attracted to him. He's not attractive, but I'm attracted to him.
No, he is attractive, but he's not like handsome.
Right. He's not like textbook or whatever.
But he's like
he's
very
so confident.
sexual.
Yes, and like forward.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, I know. Love him. Okay. So here's one that I knew was interesting, but I went into knowing basically nothing about, which is a little bit rare for me. So this week I'm doing the story of Larry Flynt.
Oh, cool, man.
This one is total drama club territory because it has politics, sex, violence, scandals, and more.
Hey.
So let's get to it. I watched The People vs. Larry Flynt, starring Woody Harrelson as Larry, which I realized I had never like, oh yeah, I love him. He's another person who I feel like is sexy.
But not like textbook?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got something. His accent is great.
I know. And he seems like a cool dude. Like you
he
can
knows
kick
how to
it with
dress.
him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is a movie.
Hit it.
This is a movie that I realized that I'd never like really sat down and seen. Like I'd seen, of course, like pieces of it, but
they used to play it on like VH1 or something.
Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly how I'd seen it, like with commercials and shit. Anyway, it's streaming for free right now. So yeah, I was happy to watch it. I think it's a decent movie, so go watch it if you haven't seen it. I also read the Vice article by Drew Millard called "The Pervert Who Changed America."
Vice used to be great.
I mean, it's still good, but
sometimes.
But
it's problematic.
Don't you think they should be? It's totally problematic. But should the Cut? I feel like does incredible investigative journalism that I think taps into what's hot and hits like the zeitgeist in a way that Vice should and never does.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Like they broke.
I read Vice probably like every day. Like I go on there.
I mean, I love it, but why didn't Vice do the Anna Delvey story, the Soho grifter?
Because it's run by men.
Yeah, true. And the Caroline Calloway story.
Yeah, exactly. They don't give a fuck about that. They think it's beneath them.
And when Viceland first came on, I feel like all the shows were fucking amazing.
Viceland was great.
Yeah.
Esquire's Network was great too. I was thinking about The Getaway the other day.
Yeah. Oh, that was a
How was I thinking
show,
about
man.
that? I don't remember. But I was thinking about you too. And I was like, why did that go away? That was so good.
Okay. So Larry Claxton Flynt Jr. was born in Lakeville, Kentucky on November 1st, 1942. He had two younger siblings, Judy and Jimmy Ray, and his parents were poor. And I mean poor.
Country poor is another level of poor.
Yeah, exactly. His mom, Edith, took care of the family, and his dad, Larry Sr., was a sharecropper. So he was a sharecropper in Lakeville, which at the time was one of the poorest cities in the country. So think about that. Like, this is like basically the lowest level of society for whites anyway.
Right.
In the movie, they only show his childhood for like a hot second, but I got a lot of Dick Whitman Mad Men vibes.
Ooh, okay.
Like I was waiting for someone to get kicked in the face by a horse and die.
Right.
According to Larry's autobiography, he suffered some sexual trauma as a child, first, when he was 7, a 13-year-old girl fondled his penis.
What?
Yeah. It sucks because, like, obviously, as a child and as a young adult, this 13-year-old girl should have respect for other people's bodies. But there's also, like, that you don't know, I guess, what you're doing. Like, you're experimenting.
Right. Remember when Lena Dunham said some weird shit about her and her sister touching each other?
Mm-hmm. That's another thing that we should talk about. But
yeah,
I feel like I'm not educated enough in that in that subject to talk about that.
Also, like, let's not, like, completely disregard. Some little kids do fucking know what they're doing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, with age comes more wisdom. So obviously 13 is still pretty young.
Right.
It's still wrong.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, and then when he was 9, he caught one of his grandma's chickens and penetrated it
What?
with his
Why?
penis, for the people in the back.
Why?
And then in a panic, he killed the chicken because he was like, what the fuck am I doing? And, like, panicked and killed it.
Hey.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Oh, God.
Anyway, like I said, the Flints had it rough, especially because Larry Sr. had to go away.
Not as rough with that chicken.
That's fucked up. I repeated that chicken. Bet you wish you were a spicy chicken sandwich, baby.
Yep.
So they had it rough, especially because Larry Sr. had to go away for years to fight during World War II.
Wow.
So for a minute, poor Edith was basically on her own, just trying to make it work with the 3 kids. When Larry Sr. came home from war, it seems like things didn't get much better for the Flints because poor baby Judy died of leukemia at the age of 4.
Oh, my God.
It's like it goes from worse to worse with this family. It's like,
And everybody who came home from World War II wasn't
right. Yeah.
wasn't fucking right, basically.
So the death of baby Judy really blew up their family and led the Flints to divorce, with Edith taking Larry to live in Indiana in 1952 and Jimmy to stay in Kentucky with their grandmother.
Okay.
I don't know what the fuck happened to Larry Sr. around this time and why he apparently wasn't in charge of either of his kids.
Like I said, people come back
Yeah.
from World War. Maybe it was better that he didn't take it.
Yeah. No, yeah, good point. But the brothers weren't separated for too long because 2 years after he left, Larry moved back to Kentucky after clashing with Edith's new boyfriend. Also around this time, Larry tried to run away from home when a man claiming to be a police officer forcibly performed oral sex on him.
What?
Like, he had run away from home, and then this guy who was pretending to be a cop was like, how old are you? Where are you going? Like, where are your parents or something? And then forced him to...
And he's how old at this time?
He's a teenager. He's like 15 or something.
May. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
It shook Larry, who thought at the time he was like, oh, I'm a grown, I can do that. I can, like, go out on my own. But then, like, this is like the first thing that happens to him. So
Right.
So he goes back home. Like, he goes
Right.
running back home, and then he stays home for a little bit. Larry got a forged birth certificate and ran away to join the army after 9th grade at only 15 years old in 1957.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. More Dick Whitman vibes, by the way.
Seriously.
Okay. After he was honorably discharged from the army, Larry bounced around a little bit. First, he moved back to Indiana near his mom to work for General Motors. Then, back to Kentucky to become a bootlegger, where he ended up having to flee because the law started looking for him.
Oh, wow.
Then, in 1960, he joined the Navy, not the Rihanna Navy, the regular one, and he became a radar operator on the USS Enterprise. He did 4 years in the Navy and was honorably discharged in 1964. During his time in the Navy, he was married to a woman named Mary, but they got divorced almost as soon as he got out. In 1965, Larry took $1,800 that he had in savings and bought a shitty little dive bar in Dayton, Ohio called the Kiwi.
Oh.
That's a cute name for a bar, the Kiwi. Because then you can say, like, to your friends, oh, meet me at the Kiwi after work on Friday or whatever.
Right.
So he fixed it up a little bit, and not too long after, he was pulling in $1,000 a week, which is really great because he only invested $1,800. And he used that money to buy not one, but 2 shitty little dive bars, and soon had the makings of a shitty little empire on his hands.
Hey, that's all we could all hope for in this world.
So, what can we call our boy Larry? A hustler.
Yeah, I mean,
Ooh, foreshadowing. And hustle he did, because Larry was working around 20 hours a day to make these bars pop off.
I was gonna say, owning a bar is a lot of work.
And he owned at least 3 at this point.
That's crazy.
And we all know there's only one way to do that. Right, Judy Garland? Right. Pep pills, bennies, black beauties, crank, ice, speed, uppers. Right, Liza? Right, mama? That's right. Amphetamines. So Larry was fucking cracked out all day, every day, just working his ass off. Then he decided to try to step his game up and try to open like a classier joint. Because like these are all dive bars. One that would feature nude dancers. And being the hustler that he was, naturally he called it the Hustler Club.
Nice.
Hustler is just a good name.
It's a great name. I would love to go to a strip club right now. Go fucking literally anywhere right now.
Tell me why the med spa, like where I get fillers and shit, called me today. I was on the bike, so I had to like stop and talk to them. And they were like, oh, we just reopened. And if you want to come back in to get whatever you want to get, it's going to be, we'll give you $50 off. And I was like, how is that allowed?
That's fucked up.
That shit is not okay. I'll do it, but that shit is not okay. Okay. So since his first divorce in 1965, he married and divorced 2 more women, Peggy and Kathy, in these early days of the Hustler Club. And it was at the Hustler Club where he would meet his girlfriend and later 4th wife, Althea. P.S. Larry has 5 kids, but I don't know who the moms are, so just FYI, that's also happening in the background.
Okay.
Anyway, Althea, let's talk about her for a minute because she's really interesting. When she was 8 in 1961, her abusive father shot and killed her mother,
Whoa.
her grandfather, and her mom's best friend before finally killing himself.
What?
Yeah, fucking crazy.
Holy shit, man. That's like the fucking Janku chicken murders or whatever.
Yeah, Zanku.
Janku, there you go.
Althea's grandmother escaped the shooting by hiding in a nearby creek.
What?
But how terrifying is that? Oh my God.
Yes.
Althea and her siblings were then put into orphanages, but Althea ran away because she was molested multiple times after being placed in foster homes. So they would like put her in a foster home and then the man would touch her and she would run away. And this happened like 2 or 3 times or something. So then she was like, fuck this, and ran away from the orphanage.
Yeah.
So it's a total nightmare scenario. And so when she's 17, she's like, fuck this. And she takes off. She runs away. Obviously with a fake ID. She gets a job as a dancer at the Hustler Club in 1971. She's played by Courtney Love in the movie, by the way.
Okay.
And Courtney is really great in this. We've talked about this before. It's like, it's perfect for her.
Yeah.
Yeah. She is Althea. Anyway. Yeah, but we've talked about this before, but there's a universe where Courtney Love stays clean and becomes Robert Downey Jr., like the female Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
Okay. So
imagine Courtney Love's like Charlize Theron at this point.
Yes, exactly. And she could have done it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really sad.
Yeah.
So in a lot of ways, Althea and Larry were a goddamn match made in heaven because they made a really good team. She was a hustler too. And once she was in the mix, Larry and Jimmy, his brother, started opening up a string of hustler clubs, 8 in total, with each making between $250,000 to $500,000 a year.
God damn.
Yeah.
All from $1,800.
Yeah.
That's
it's amazing.
Wild.
Yeah. And Larry, and the fact that Althea just fucking walked into his life and was just like, she started running the clubs basically. And so he could like think of like the next bigger, better thing.
Right.
So it's like, oh my God. Anyway. And Larry also started dabbling in publishing by buying a small local newspaper. That's when he published a 2-page newsletter to advertise the clubs featuring, of course, the girls. And it was called the Hustler Newsletter in January of 1972. By the next year, 1973, the newsletter had become so popular that it was now 32 pages. And Althea ran the clubs while Larry got more into this publishing side.
Jesus.
1973 was also the year where the U.S. slipped into a recession. So unfortunately for Larry and Althea, the club started to struggle and went into debt. He decided that it might be a good time to turn the newsletter into a full-on magazine to possibly compete with Playboy, since he didn't see himself and men like him represented in Playboy.
Right, because Playboy's like bougie.
Yeah, exactly. It for him, he thought Playboy was pretentious.
And that, like, you know, there's like a famous interview of him where he's like, my magazine is for men who just want to see like naked women.
Yeah,
like, he's like,
exactly.
they don't want to read articles. They don't want to know how to make a fucking Manhattan.
Yes, that's exactly it.
They just want to see the coochie.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, the men I know don't read the articles anyway. So why the fuck are we pretending? Why are we dressing up this quote unquote dirty thing with these articles in between that no one gives a fuck about?
Right.
So he had this vision to create a magazine for the men like him, for the blue collar working class men.
Right.
So he deferred payment of the club's tax debts and invested those funds to print the first real issue of Hustler in July of 1974, with Althea as its first centerfold. Althea was also a co-publisher and editor at Hustler, and her role would only get bigger as time went on. Larry's goal was to basically make a titty magazine for the everyman, the man who didn't want to read a civil rights article between two photos of nude ladies holding flowers. And by November of 1974, just a few months after the first issue, Hustler published its first quote-unquote pink shots, aka photos of open vulvas.
Oh my God, man. That's crazy.
Yeah. This is, I mean, it's revolutionary.
Yeah, what year is it?
74.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, fucking pictures of that roaming around.
Roaming around. And, you know, I think women are beautiful, and I 100% wish there was a publication right now where we could see consistently beautiful artistic nudes of women. But personally, I've never looked at a nude and thought, you know what this needs? More open vulva. Not that there's anything wrong with that, you know, and praise be that we live in a time and a place where it's okay to pose and publish pics like this, but that's just not my personal preference.
Yup, under his eye. Praise be.
Praise be. And the men of America of 1974 disagreed with me, I guess, because within a year, Larry was able to pay off his tax debt.
Wow.
And the magazine proved to be a moneymaker for him. It was a struggle, though, because each and every month, the magazine's distributors fought him on actually publishing it because store and newsstand owners would pull it from the shelves for being too explicit. So obviously, Hustler was far from being mainstream.
Right.
But then in 1975, Larry caught a break. He was approached by a paparazzo who was stalking Jackie O with a telephoto lens while she was on vacation. And he took photos of our girl Jackie while she was sunbathing nude on Aristotle's Island, Scorpios. Larry paid big bucks at the time for the photos, $18,000, which was a huge investment for him. And he put them in his August 1975 issue.
$18,000
Mm-hmm.
for nude pictures of Jackie Onassis?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I wonder how much they would go for now.
Imagine.
Like millions,
Fucking
probably.
Millions, yeah.
Yeah. So that issue sold 1 million copies within a few days. Because, I mean, if you think about it, this is unprecedented. Like, when have we ever seen a former first lady
Naked.
nude? I mean,
No.
now Melania, we've seen her.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
She don't count. Is she a first lady? Is that what she
Allegedly.
is?
Hashtag be best. So he sells 1 million copies within a few days, and this put Hustler on the national map and made Larry a millionaire. Today, his net worth is reportedly in the hundreds of millions of dollars. Larry is a fucking asshole, obviously, for publishing these photos.
Yeah, that's rude.
And there are a lot of things that were published in the magazine that were problematic. There were photos of pre-op trans women that were meant to be shocking and like pointed at, not meant to for arousal like all the other pictures of women. It was like, oh, look at this fucking crazy shit.
Yeah.
He did break some barriers, but it wasn't like for the right reasons. It was like he published photos of trans women to like laugh at them or something, you know, like it was like,
yeah. And these approved photos of
Right.
Jackie O.
Yeah.
Remember when that trashy magazine did that? I think Daily Mail did that of Kate Middleton. She was sunbathing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And they posted all the topless photos of her. That's fucked up.
Yeah, it's super fucked up. And often women were portrayed in really shitty ways. One famous one involved a photo of a woman being fed into a meat grinder because, get it, she's a piece of meat, you know? There were quote unquote jokes that were clearly racist, even for the time.
Wow.
It's so, like, I, just like a lot of feminist critics, I think, have a lot of problems with Hustler that have
I don't think I've ever
nothing-
actually seen a Hustler magazine.
I've never seen one in the flesh either. I've only like seen the stories about like things like this, like the Jackie story that makes me think like this is like a fucking problematic ass magazine.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, so obviously like there are problems with the magazine that have literally nothing to do with the fact that it's porn or, you know. Anyway, the next year in 1976, Larry and Althea were married. So by all means, the Flynts were on top of the world. But also beginning in 1976 were a string of legal problems for Larry that threatened to bring both himself and Hustler down. In Cincinnati, Ohio, Larry was brought in on charges of organized crime and obscenity by Ohio prosecutor Simon Lays, who just so happened to be head of a local anti-pornography committee.
Oh.
P.S. in the movie, this is when my crush Edward Norton enters the picture as Larry's lawyer, Alan Isaacman.
Edward Norton is fine.
He's so cute.
And
he's
got
such a
with
good
Salma
actor.
Hayek. Yeah, and he's
Yes.
such a good actor. He's got a cool repertoire.
Yeah, I love him.
Yeah.
Where are you at?
You know
I want
what
to
I
see
was
him more.
thinking about? I watched Ex Machina on like Wednesday or something.
Oscar Isaac, love him.
Yeah, he doesn't look good in that movie, but still.
Yeah.
That movie's so good, it makes you like him.
I like when he dances.
Yeah, it's funny because he's like, "Why did you tear up the picture of me?" And he's like, "I'm about to tear up this dance floor." And then when you finish, it's like, "Oh, other films like this or whatever."
Yeah.
And I started thinking about Matt Damon because I was like, he's always in these like suspenseful, actiony, sometimes sci-fi
Yeah.
type films. He's not someone I consider a great actor, but goddamn is he hyped.
He has a lot of personality. I respect it.
Yeah. It's because they were like a little firework because they came out with fucking Good Will Hunting, right? And it was like such like a big deal that they did that. Also, I don't think Matt Damon's particularly fine. So I'm like,
sometimes he's cute. Like now that he's aged.
No, he's not a bad looking guy. He's just not like fine.
Right. Yeah. I was just thinking about Kate Hudson, who I usually in my mind, I think like one of the first things that comes to mind about Kate Hudson is she has great style. Like I always love what she's wearing on the red carpet.
Yeah, and her style is so like authentic. Like it's just like, of course, that's how this girl dresses with that personality and that hair. And
yes, exactly. But fuck girls who I love put together like a little slideshow of her looks, and when I saw them all back to back to back, I was like, actually, in hindsight, like I don't love a lot of this, but she sells it. I think like I think when I watch her walk the carpet and she's just like so full of joy and like she's got so much personality, I think that's what makes me love a look from her.
Yeah, she's like a diamond amongst all these peasants.
Yeah.
No, it's true. Like she's actually different, and everybody's just trying to be the fucking same.
So Edward Norton plays Alan Isaacman, and Alec Isaacman is a civil liberties attorney. So obviously he was super interested in this case. But the charges were complete bullshit. Larry had nothing to do with organized crime, and in all likelihood, Simon Lays just wanted to make a name for himself in the state of Ohio. But Simon succeeded in his case against Larry, and Larry was convicted and sentenced to 7 to 25 years in prison.
What?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. Luckily, Larry only ended up serving 6 days in jail, and the sentence was overturned on appeal due to judicial and jury bias and prosecutorial... Ooh, I am faded.
That's all right. That's a tough word.
Prosecutorial misconduct. Also,
what'd they do?
Oh, I don't know. It doesn't say what it was. But I would imagine that because the prosecutor was on the board of whatever that county's anti-pornography committee, that it had something to do with that.
Right.
Also in 1976, a libel suit was filed against Larry by Kathy Keaton, the girlfriend of Bob Guccione, who was the publisher of Hustler's rival magazine, Penthouse.
Oh, fuck. There's another magazine I've never seen.
Yeah. Larry had published a derogatory cartoon featuring Kathy.
Oh.
And she filed a lawsuit in the state of New Hampshire, specifically there, because it was one of the states in which Hustler's readership was the lowest.
Ooh, I love when people have lawsuits that are smart like that.
Right.
It's like, we're going to file it in this state because this state has this one fucked up law.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Okay, so you're going to like this.
Okay, cool.
Larry's lawyers argued that Kathy should not be legally allowed to file a suit in a random jurisdiction like New Hampshire. And this matter actually went all the way to the United States Supreme Court in a case known as Keaton v. Hustler Magazine.
Ooh, that's a tight-ass name.
Larry lost this case. And in front of the Supreme Court, justices yelled, "Fuck this court. You're nothing but eight assholes and a token cunt." The quote-unquote token cunt was fucking hero and first woman to serve on the court, Justice Sandra Day O'Connor.
Oh my God. He said that to the Supreme Court?
Yeah, he stood up in court and said that shit.
Holy shit.
Larry was then arrested for contempt of court.
Yeah.
See, once again, Larry's a fucking asshole. Like, I don't like him, not because he's a pornographer, but because he's a fucking dick.
Could you imagine saying that to any judge? Like your lowest state level judge?
Fucking to any woman.
Yeah,
like,
seriously, yeah.
Anyway, Keaton v. Hustler is now taught in first-year law school civil procedure because it set a precedent regarding jurisdiction.
Damn, I don't remember that case. I took that class, though.
And that's just the tip of the iceberg as far as Larry's legal troubles go. He was hit with bullshit obscenity charges left and right, more than any of us would care to count, and he made it a point to challenge each and every one of them in court, becoming one of this country's honestly most unlikely champions of our constitutionally protected First Amendment rights. And I will say that as much as I dislike Larry personally, he does seem to do this as much or arguably more for noble reasons than for his own self. Like, you would think it would be publicity.
Right.
But I think he does truly care about the First Amendment.
Right.
He always talks about how if the First Amendment is exercised to protect the most quote-unquote tasteless of speech, like him, then by extension, it will protect everyone else's.
Problematic fucking amendments, man.
In 1977, President Jimmy Carter's sister Ruth reached out to Larry. This was extremely out of left field because Ruth Carter was a very prominent and devout evangelical Christian. She embraced Larry as a friend, and as a result of their friendship, Larry became baptized a born-again Christian.
Holy shit.
Yeah. He says he had a vision from God while he was with Ruth. However, he didn't pull Hustler from the newsstands because he vowed he was going to, quote, hustle for God.
Yep.
He just wanted to tweak the format of Hustler a little bit. Like, no more shots of ladies alone, only in the context of a man beside her, like Adam and Eve. The way God intended. And more toned down in general. No more pink shots. But Althea put her fucking foot down.
She was like, no, they could take my liberty, but they will not take my pink shots. Give me pink shots or give me death.
Althea was like, I am the captain now. Because every change that Larry was trying to make was alienating and antagonizing their audience.
Right.
So she kept pushing back at him to try to steady the ship that Larry was ready to sink. In the midst of all of this, Larry was in the middle of a legal battle related to an obscenity charge down in Georgia. So one day, in March of 1978, he was in Georgia on his way to the courthouse when a gunman shot both Larry and his attorney from across the street right in front of the courthouse.
That's so scary.
Ugh,
that
terrible.
happens all the time, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, lawyers be getting killed.
So the gunman escaped, but had gravely injured Larry. His attorney almost died, but his injuries weren't as bad as Larry's, and he was eventually able to recover. Larry was paralyzed from the waist down as a result of the shooting.
That's so horrible.
It's the worst. Like I said, like, I don't like this dude, but, like, obviously...
You don't want this for, like, your worst enemy.
Right.
It's different to be born that way, right? Like,
Yeah.
at least you don't know
Right.
kind of what it's like. I don't know. Maybe it's not. It's both ways fucking horrible.
But if you're born that way, you quickly learn to adapt. This is a man who was, I don't know, 36, 37, 38, something like that.
Yeah.
And this happens. You lived more half your life a certain way, and now you have to learn something that's extremely difficult. It's horrible.
Yeah.
So it's safe to say that this moment changed his life forever. First of all, the incident became the catalyst for Larry to lose his faith in God.
Wow.
And much to for real, much to the chagrin of Ruth Carter. After this, Larry began to identify as an atheist. Meanwhile,
welcome.
Welcome to the Hustler Club. We've been waiting for you. Meanwhile, back at Hustler, while Larry recovered, Althea took the opportunity to really take over on some boss shit. She was like, get this Adam and Eve shit out of here. We don't fuck with that anymore. Bring out the open vulvas. We need more open vulvas. Meanwhile, everyone had a theory about who shot Larry because the FBI, who was investigating the crime, had come up with like 0 leads. Some thought that it might have been the CIA because Larry had published a $1 million offer for anyone who had information leading to the arrest of anyone involved in a conspiracy to assassinate JFK.
Wow.
Some people thought it was the mafia trying to break into the pornography business, taking out one of the competition. Some thought it was the KKK because Hustler published interracial photo spreads. Others thought it was extremists on the religious right who were obviously disgusted by everything that Larry represented. Larry, being one of the biggest assholes in America, was probably wanted dead by a lot of people, if we're being honest. So aside from the obvious changes that came to Larry's life by being a paraplegic, a big one turned out to be the addiction that he developed to painkillers. In his defense, he was in almost constant excruciating pain and was having surgery after surgery to try to improve his condition. It's not like he just became a drug addict for like the hell of it.
For funsies, right.
Yeah. And it turned out that Larry suffered from bipolar disorder, which during a psychotic manic episode turned out to be a huge underlying reason for his sudden religious awakening the year before.
Wow.
Kanye West vibes. So this obviously affected him and was also a factor when he developed his drug addiction. Another huge tragedy was that Althea also became addicted to Larry's painkillers and would inject herself with them.
Ooh, fuck.
Yeah. I think she was in a rough spot and I feel bad for her. It's like, obviously this terrible thing happened to a man that she loved, her partner in every sense of the word. And not only did she have to essentially take over the business to keep everything afloat, but she also now had to care for a man who was suffering on all sides.
Right, yeah.
Unknown people might still want him dead. He's mentally ill. His body has failed him. He's in constant pain and he's now addicted to drugs.
Plus, the life that you had envisioned for the both of you is now changed forever, and that's fucking crazy.
Yeah. I mean, like, I didn't mention it, but obviously his dick doesn't work, and this is a man who is his life is sex, and he and Althea reveled in bringing other women into their bed, and all of that is over in an instant. So she was the one who had to take all of that on, and I think obviously she just broke. Yeah. So the two of them rode into the 80s, unfortunately, as codependent addicts. Larry overdosed several times over the years and even suffered a stroke as a result of one of these incidents.
Wow.
He mostly recovered from his stroke, but it did leave him with a permanent speech impediment, and now he has a little bit of difficulty in pronunciation. But by 1983, there was some good news because after countless surgeries, doctors were finally able to get a handle on his chronic pain after the affected nerves were deadened. And as a result, Larry was able to kick his addiction to drugs. He'd basically been a recluse in the 5 years since the shooting, and it was around this time that he made his way back into the public eye, albeit never without a small army of armed guards.
I bet.
And the way he did it will be familiar to listeners of this podcast. Remember John DeLorean of the DeLorean Motor Company?
Yes, I do remember that episode. That was interesting as fuck.
He's someone we did an episode on a few months ago. And that episode is called Extra Extra, if you want to go back and listen. Well, John DeLorean was, of course, infamously implicated in a huge cocaine bust set up by the FBI, and it was all caught on tape. Larry had somehow come into possession of the tape and leaked it to the media, thus breaking the story. The FBI were obviously in a tizzy over the leaking of the videotape, so they asked a federal court to force Larry to reveal his sources. Larry was then brought into court so that the judge could issue his order. But Larry refused, arguing that he, like any other journalist, was protected by the First Amendment and did not have to reveal his sources. The judge disagreed and issued Larry a fine and again ordered him to reveal his sources. Then Larry showed up to court wearing an American flag as a diaper, and the judge charged him with desecration of the flag, for which Larry served 6 months in a mental institution.
Wow.
Isn't that that's a lot?
Yeah. Goddamn.
Meanwhile, in the background of this big-ass fucking mess, Larry returns to Hustler to take a more hands-on role. Althea had stepped back a tiny bit over the years while she was in the throes of her drug addiction, and the media suits who were essentially in charge of the day-to-day at Hustler had kind of been taking the magazine in a slightly more conservative direction. But now that Larry was back, once again, he and the magazine became provocateurs. He published a parody ad in Hustler that featured the Reverend Jerry Falwell, who I think might have come up in the Jim and Tammy Faye Baker episode.
Oh, okay.
But if he didn't, he's like one of those guys. He's one of them. A super powerful megachurch evangelical preacher. Had President Reagan's ear and shit.
Jesus.
Anyway, in the parody ad, Larry implied that Jerry had sex with his mother in an outhouse. Well, listener, let me tell you, you do not want to piss off someone as powerful as Jerry Falwell.
I bet.
Right. Also, around this time, Althea was diagnosed with AIDS.
What?
So everything is going to shit.
Oh my God, May, what year is this?
83.
Wow.
Remember that this is 1983, so this is probably one of the most devastating diagnoses that a person could get.
It's like a death sentence.
It's a death sentence.
It's fucking so scary.
Yeah. Larry later claimed that despite being an intravenous drug user, Althea got AIDS from a blood transfusion during a hysterectomy. He says that she never, ever shared needles. But anyway, yeah, things are bad for the Flynts. Althea's sick and Larry's in an institution. He's serving the 6 months.
Yeah.
And in 1984, just as Larry gets out of the institution, Jerry Falwell sues for $45 million over the parody ad, citing libel and emotional distress. Jerry was awarded $200,000 for his emotional distress in this case.
Oh, damn.
Larry would appeal on the grounds that the First Amendment protected parody and satire. More on that in a minute. Also in 1984, in the midst of another manic episode, Larry actually ran for president of these United States.
Oh, God.
I think strangely as a Republican.
Oh, yeah, that isn't.
Right?
Yeah. Come on, my dude. Can't be posting pictures of evangelicals fucking their mom in a bathhouse and then thinking you could run Republican. That's ridiculous.
Didn't Kanye also want to run for president in 2020?
I was about to say very Kanye vibes, yeah. Did you see... There's something up with, there's something up with their marriage, but they're not together. And
during the quarantine?
Yeah, and she had the kids and he just took all the kids to Wyoming.
Oh.
Also, what's up with him in Wyoming?
I don't know.
Got a little family out there or something?
I really wish I knew more about the Kardashians because I loved that fight that they had.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that. I'm glad I don't have a sister, man. I would be throwing down with her all the time.
You 1000% would.
I throw down with my brother. He ain't not gonna throw down with his sister. That shit would be awful.
Yeah, so he's running as a Republican but it's weird because I think he's clearly a libertarian with liberal tendencies. So running as a Republican just seems fucking off. Anyway, he was unable to gain traction as a candidate since he would have been primarying the very popular sitting president Ronald Reagan.
Oh my God.
During this period, Althea had to step her pussy up at Hustler again since Larry was otherwise indisposed. Because of this, she had to abandon her passion project, which was a non-pornographic magazine called The RHOBH that covered the punk music scene.
Oh.
That would have been so cool.
Yeah, that is so cool.
Yeah. On June 27th, 1987, Althea died at age 33.
What?
After she passed out in their bathtub following a drug overdose and drowned.
Holy shit. What do you mean, yeah, AIDS?
Larry says that in all likelihood, she didn't have much time left at that point anyway, because the AIDS was very advanced. So, yeah, she overdosed, but she was dying. She was like actively dying anyway. She was barely holding on, so RIP to her. She sounds cool, honestly.
How old was she, May?
33.
I'd like to see a story about her, like a biopic on her.
Yeah. Bring Courtney. Oh, now Courtney's too old, but yeah.
Who could do it? Is she blonde? I thought she was brunette.
She's blonde. She's blonde. Yeah. Like a dirty blonde. Okay. So Larry was devastated by her death. At that point, they had spent the last 16 years together.
Yeah, I bet. And she came up with him.
Yes, exactly.
Who's gonna know him like her?
And obviously, they'd been through a lot together. I mean, she was with him before and after the shooting. And like you said, they came up together. It's just like, I can't imagine what he went through. Also around this time, on his third appeal of the Falwell case, the Supreme Court agreed to hear his case. Remember that just 4 years before, he was there calling the only woman justice a cunt to her face. So frankly, I'm shocked that they took up the case. Anyway, in a shock decision, the Supreme Court justices ruled unanimously that the Hustler ad should be protected under the First Amendment.
Damn.
This became one of the landmark rulings of the 20th century and probably the broadest expansion of First Amendment protections in history, because the decision said that a public figure cannot sue for pain and suffering because they got their feelings hurt by something clearly ridiculous or satirical and therefore non-libelous.
Damn. The Supreme Court stay woke, baby.
So a few weeks ago, when I said that I had just made it up, but I knew it without a doubt to be true that Rick Solomon had the coronavirus, I was protected under the First Amendment. Thanks, Larry Flynt. Ironically, after this, Larry and Jerry Falwell became friends until Jerry's death nearly 2 decades later.
Whoa.
Larry says that they would write letters to each other and have debates at universities about free speech and just came to respect one another for being good at selling what the fuck each one of them was selling, you know?
I think that says more about Jerry than it does about Larry.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. Right. Yeah, because Larry knows what the fuck time it is, you know, always.
Right.
But
he's keeping it real, but Jerry's on his high horse just spewing bullshit that he knows is bullshit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. He wants to see fucking, what are those pictures called again? Tacos?
Pink shots.
There you go.
Tacos. Choco tacos.
Oh, I love choco tacos.
In 1994, serial killer and white supremacist Joseph Paul Franklin confessed to the attempted murder of Larry Flynt that ultimately left him paralyzed.
Whoa.
Joseph said that he had become outraged by an interracial photo spread in an issue of Hustler and decided to kill Larry. Although he was never charged in connection to the specific crime, he has generally been accepted as the right suspect.
Wow.
He killed somewhere between 7 and 21 victims over at least 5 years and was sentenced to death in the state of Missouri. Larry, who opposes the death penalty, was on record calling for the sentence to be changed. But in the end, Joseph was killed by lethal injection in November of 2013.
Where was he killed? What state?
Missouri.
Huh. That's scary. It's always scary to me, serial killers, because the numbers are always like that. It's always like he killed between 5 and 750 people.
Right. We don't fucking know.
Yeah, that's scary. And they probably don't even fucking know, you know?
Right.
That's cool that Larry opposed it.
Right. If you don't listen to this, like someone who is barely hanging on at this point because of the actions of this person, who else are you gonna listen to?
Seriously. You know? Like this guy fucking ruined the trajectory of his life, and he still doesn't want him to die.
Larry's oldest daughter, Tanya, with whom he'd been estranged after she became a Christian anti-porn activist.
Ooh, that's one way to say fuck you to your dad.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how I feel about it. Okay, she released her memoir, Hustled, good title, in 1998. In it, she claimed that Larry sexually and emotionally abused her as a child.
That's scary, but actually Larry was sexually abused as a child, so
Yeah.
it's not unlikely that he also did that to his own children, or, you know?
Right.
But we don't know. There's no, like, other...
Well, Larry vehemently denied these accusations at the time.
Of course he did.
And he claims to have passed a polygraph test.
Huh.
However, it's not like this test was done by a law enforcement agency or anything.
Mm-hmm.
This was a test that, if he did take, was commissioned by him for him. So take that with a grain of salt.
Right.
Honestly, take any polygraph with a grain of salt.
Yes.
It's barely even a science. It's not, honestly. It's not.
It's not admissible in court.
Right. So, yeah. Larry also claims to be in possession of a secret recording made of Tanya in which she admits that she made it all up for money.
Ooh.
So there's that. But I don't think that he's ever made the alleged tape public.
Which, why wouldn't you? If you had that and it could clear your name.
But it's still his daughter. I don't know.
I mean, you think there's father-daughter relationship? She's saying that he fucking molested her.
No,
you
you're
know
right.
what I mean?
You're right. Yeah. So like you said, I think that there's enough evidence for us to believe her.
Right.
But
we don't know. That's the truth.
But But the two things that he holds up as evidence, like, oh, look, I like willingly took this polygraph, and also I have this tape. Like, if those two things are real, then I mean, obviously, it muddies the waters.
Right.
Also in 98, Larry married his fifth and current wife, Elizabeth, who used to be his nurse and is now an executive at Hustler.
Oh. Okay.
Around this time, he offered $1 million during the Clinton impeachment for evidence that any Republicans were engaged in extramarital affairs or in any kind of sex scandal. Larry had been pulling this kind of publicity stunt since the early days of Hustler when he offered the reward for Kennedy's conspirators. But in 98, someone bit, and it actually took down the incoming Speaker of the House, Bob Livingston, who was forced to resign in the midst of the Clinton scandal.
Wow.
Here's one, I guess, nice thing that Larry did. Here's a name I haven't heard since 2003, but do you remember Private Jessica Lynch?
No. Private Jessica Lynch. No.
Yeah. All right. This is some early Iraq war shit. She was an army soldier who got captured and held as a prisoner of war, and the U.S. went all out to go get her ass back.
This is not the second part of that podcast, right?
What podcast?
No, he wasn't a
Serial?
prisoner of war. He
was a prisoner of war, but
by his own doing, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So no disrespect to Jessica Lynch, but there was a lot of drama about how the story was handled here in the States. Of course, it was used as propaganda during the early days of the war. And also she, a white blonde girl, was captured that same day along with a black single mom, Shoshana Johnson, and a First Nations woman, Lori Payestwa. And the only thing we heard about on the news every day was Jessica Lynch. Lori Payestwa actually died and was the first Native woman to die in combat for the U.S. military and the first woman to die in Iraq.
Wow.
But I digress. Some asshole tried to sell Jessica Lynch's nudes in 2003. And
why?
Yeah, I know. It's fucking bullshit. But Larry bought them so that no one else could publish them.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
So he did a catch and kill, which I thought was like pretty cool.
Yeah, that's dope.
In 2012, he offered $1 million reward for the only Republican I acknowledge Mitt Romney's then unreleased tax returns.
Mitt, that's my boy Mitt. What I would not do to have you as president right now, my boy. You know what I always think of in his documentary? You pointed it out to me. Like, he's just a good person. Like, he's like getting ready to do a press conference or something, and he's like, "Oh, who left all this trash right here?" And
yeah.
He just starts cleaning it up, like, you know,
right.
Like he's just like a good fucking person.
He's a good person that obviously I disagree with on a lot of things.
Me too.
He's a man with a conscience.
Yeah, he's smart.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
how low the fucking standard has
God.
fallen.
Yes.
Right?
In 2013, Larry finished 7th in the infamous race for California governor following the recall of Governor Gray Davis.
Oh my God. We should do an episode just on that fucking
On everyone that ran?
yeah.
Yeah.
Because Mary Carey did that porn
Mary
star,
Carey,
remember?
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna do that next episode.
Damn, we should run as a pair. We should
Oh,
run
that'd
as
be
a
sick,
pair.
man. I'll be VP.
In 2017, Larry offered $10 million for any evidence leading to the removal of Donald Trump from office.
Oh, nice.
So if anyone has any info for that, I don't think it's
I
too
don't know.
late.
Yeah.
We'll be the middleman if you're scared. Just drop us a line at 505-539-0556. We'll be sure to get you all your money.
Minus
Today-
15%. 8.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Today, most of Hustler's money comes from the Hustler casinos in Gardena
Whoa.
and a handful of Hustler stores and clubs. The magazine is basically dead, and according to Larry, only accounts for 5% of his income. It's wild to me that, by all accounts, he is somehow more wealthy than Hugh Hefner ever was, many times over.
Really?
Right.
He doesn't like exude wealth like
And you
Hugh
think,
does.
what's the most successful brand? Playboy or Hustler? Right. Yeah. It's got to be Playboy. But somehow when Hef died, I think he had like 40 million or something like that.
He spent
know-
a lot of money.
But he didn't even own the mansion.
Right.
And
Well, like the magazine owned the mansion, right?
yeah,
That's a
exactly.
loophole.
Right. So Hef, I think, is of course a super wealthy, died a super wealthy dude, but Larry Flynt's like 10 Hefs.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, it's crazy. But you can tell fucking Hef was he was like an intellectual. Like he wanted to write a magazine for the art or, of seeing these beautiful women and telling these beautiful stories or whatever.
He wanted
And
for Playboys.
right, for Playboys. And Larry Flynt was a businessman who
Yeah.
saw an opportunity
Yeah, and took it.
and took it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess it makes sense like when you really think about it, but it's still like it's weird to think about. But that brings us up to date with the man, the myth, Larry Flynt, 77-year-old chicken fucker.
Oh my God, man. Way to bring it full circle. That's It's gonna say that on his gravestone.
Larry Flynt,
Hustler, chicken fucker.
chicken fucker. Shout out to Althea, who was a boss. Shout out to
Yeah,
Courtney Love for
RP.
playing Althea like a
Yeah.
boss too. And
Shout out to
what else?
Edward Norton for being bae.
Mm-hmm.
Hashtag white bae.
And actually, last night I saw a really good documentary. It's on Netflix right now. It's about the bookstore. If you're from LA, you know Circus of Books. I think the documentary is called Circus of Books. But Larry Flynt made a cameo in it. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to talk about you tomorrow.
Yeah, that's pretty dope.
Because Larry
go ahead.
Larry actually purchased or he published some of the first hardcore gay porn magazines in the country.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, because at one point, I didn't really go into it, but Hustler was not just Hustler, obviously. It was like Barely Legal magazine, which is
Oh yeah,
whatever.
I forgot about
It's,
that.
it's like Barely Legal magazine, all these like gay magazines. Like he was publishing stuff that no one else would. So, yeah.
That's pretty cool. Okay. That was this week's episode. Thanks for listening. Hit us up on Instagram and Twitter at Drama Club Pod, on the website dramaclubpod.com.
On the hotline, 505-539-0556. Leave us a review wherever you listen to podcasts. Send us a tip, $1, $2, $5, a bottle of tequila.
Hey, shout out to Jazz, keeping us drunk.
And we'll catch you on Thursday for our next Afternoon Delight episode.
Bye.
Bye.
However, whatever with your however.